Hi, I'm Shalina Bonjour. I'm the director of the youth department here in the Minnesota Conference. I joined the team in 2018 and have been privileged to see all the beautiful things God is doing here with the youth of Minnesota. Before I jump into some of our big events, I just want to share why youth ministries is so important. 3 out of 4 Christians make their decision for Christ before age 18. That is huge. That means our ministry to young people is super important because they are in the process of figuring out what it means to live for Christ. So I am so excited that we have an intentional ministry happening here for the youth. One of the ministry initiatives that the North American Division does is Growing Young. And what that means is that it encourages all the churches to put investment in their youth. That their programs and their time and their energy is built around including youth in their ministry. I'm going to talk about some really awesome big group events, but ministry happens in the local churches. Part of the joy of big events is that youth get a chance to build on what they've already learned. So thank you for all your involvement, for the Sabbath schools, for the time you brought youth up front. You've included them on your board. You've made them an integral part of church life, because that is the way that we centralize them in everyday parts of ministry and make them a part of our church body. One of the events we started this quadrennial is youth worship conferences. We've had 2 of them so far, and it's brought together youth from many churches across Minnesota and invited them to worship together. That's one of the reasons we do big youth events, is so that we are reminded that we are not alone in serving God, that this is not just a 1 or 2 person thing, that it's not only the people in my church, but as we come together, like in camp meeting, we celebrate what God is doing in many people's lives. So I'm excited to continue to look forward to youth worship conferences as we head into this next set of years. One of the programs I'm most excited about is our club ministry program. Pathfinders and Adventurers are both complete discipleship programs, and we offer them here in the Minnesota Conference. If you're looking for a way to involve your youth and children in ministry, why not consider club ministries? There's a variety of opportunities. Let's start with Adventurer Clubs. Adventurer Clubs is a family-based ministry, which means that it's not just for the little ones, it's where families all come together to worship, to play, to learn and grow. One of the things that we do is we have an Adventure Fun Day, which brings families and clubs together, and we have just all of those things. We have fun. You can see the kids playing and out enjoying the adventures in nature, games of tag, but also we're intentional about saying, how can we grow them? How can we grow them like Christ? How can we involve the families? We do a big family picnic. And with that, every year we've done an Adventure Fun Day and brought adventurers together to enjoy and for their families to celebrate. Family Camp for adventurers also celebrates and highlights the importance of family. As the families come together out at North Star Camp, families get involved in nature and do worship time and activities. And along the way, whether they're learning about the armor of God or about creation, each year there's a focus that says, I'm going to learn more about the Bible and spend time doing worship with my family. Club ministries is meant to be a continual process. We invite you to start club ministries when they're adventurers, and then you grow them into be Pathfinders. This year, we actually have the most Pathfinder clubs registered in this quinquennium, except for the year of Oshkosh Camporee. So a great turnout of clubs involved in club ministries this year. One of our large events is the Pathfinder Fair, where we get a chance to do honors, marching, and bring together and showcase all the things we have been learning in individual clubs. With that, we continue to learn and grow. At our Pathfinder Camporee, we do activities such as honors, but there's also an intentional focus on spiritual growth. Whether that's our beautiful play we did on Jonah, written by one of our own lay Pathfinder leaders, or it's bringing in speakers from other areas, where it's celebrating opportunities to learn about Jesus and nature whilst doing things that Pathfinders very much enjoy, from marching to scavenger hunts to singing our Pathfinder song loud and proud. It is wonderful to see all the young people involved in Pathfinder ministries. We were wonderfully able to celebrate at the International Camporee in 2019, and we had a great turnout from Minnesota. We had 693 Minnesota participants, and out of the 50,000 that were there, we made up a good chunk. And while we were at this camporee, we had many Minnesotans reaffirm their faith in God, with a series of people being baptized and renewing their commitments to say, I want to live for Christ. I know that he has chosen me and called me for a special purpose. Isn't it beautiful that we have these reaping events that build on all the ministry that has happened throughout the year? Because this starts with the Pathfinder Club and all the leaders that pour into them. But then we do these larger events where we get to celebrate what has been done and grow and harvest all of the beautiful work and discipleship that has happened. One of the ways we continue to help our clubs grow is that every year we do training. We want our leaders to be equipped. And if you just look, this is a portion of our wonderful teams that have given their time and efforts to say, I want to invest in our young people. Isn't it amazing to see people prioritizing the youth in our church? I am so thankful for our Pathfinder leaders who were courageous enough to figure out ways to still get people together during COVID social distancing times. For leaders who said, I'm going to engage my youth in creative activities, and yet consistent enough to call them when they're not being involved, where they follow up with them, because that ongoing ministry is what we want to celebrate. So we look for ways to equip each of our leaders through that process. And I'm so thankful that we have a ministry discipleship process through our club ministry program here in Minnesota. Here in Minnesota, we are super blessed because we have this amazing camp at North Star. If you haven't joined us in Brainerd, it's a beautiful location, settled by the lake, and it's an incredible backdrop for ministry. We do all sorts of ministry there. It's about friendship and activities and adventure and mentorship. And in every activity, our purpose is saying, how can we help point young people to Jesus? If you're climbing the rock wall, we want to let you know not just how to get to the top, but how to trust in Jesus the rock. So if you're looking to be involved, North Star Camp is an amazing ministry opportunity. Some of the ways we've expanded ministry this last few years, so we've added a biking program to get people out on the trails enjoying nature. We've also created a low ropes course that's great for teamwork and communication. And we've been really intentional about growing our evening programs because we believe that through storytelling and drama, we can convey the message of Christ in positive ways that touch people's hearts and call them to make decisions for Jesus. We've had a lot of amazing young people come through North Star Camp. And I want to celebrate that in 2021, we had our largest camp attendance ever. We had 347 campers come to camp. And it's amazing to see what it means to have campers spend a week of their life not only exploring and investigating and building community, but in an environment that says Jesus is number one. So we are looking to, in our future, break our 347 record. And I would love for you to work on saying, who can you send to camp? So that in the future, we can have even more people be involved in this ministry. We've come through a really beautiful renovation of our property because buildings are a great backdrop for ministry. Our newest building is the Rano Welcome Center, done in 2018. And we built that and dedicated it to God. It houses our nursing quarters, an infirmary, and an office, and allows us to greet and host all of the groups that come onto campus. Besides programming, we've also focused on how we can help make sure that camp is a safe environment. In 2019, we joined the American Camp Association and became accredited. What that means is that we looked at how to make all of our areas at camp as safe as possible while conforming to best practices throughout the camp associations. That includes a lot more paperwork and changes our staffing formulas and processes a little bit here and there. But it's amazing to say we have done all that we can to make sure that kids not only have a really good experience at camp, but that also it is as safe and intentional as we possibly can be. Campers are our primary focus in camp ministries, but we also serve another group. The ministry that happens to young adults that come work at camp is incredible. It is a whole group of people that become missionaries as they serve for 8 weeks and learn what it means to grow and to seek God in situations where they're unfamiliar and say, I want to serve and put all of my focus on how I can connect people to Jesus. We've had staff that have gotten rebaptized at camp, people that have decided to make new commitments for Jesus, and people that have decided that they are actually called into pastoral ministry because of their camp time. I am so grateful that we have this intentional ministry for young adults, because as they serve the campers see Jesus in them, and it grows, and it's this beautiful cycle of what it means to be a body of believers. And I'm so grateful for all of the staff that we have had come and serve in North Star Camp. And I want to end by saying thank you. Thank you to you. Without our amazing leaders and people who've given to the youth, we wouldn't be where we are. I'm so thankful for the churches that have sponsored campers to come to camp, given financially and time, and driven people there to bring their neighbors and friends to this evangelistic program. I'm thankful for all the leaders that have served in club ministries and have planned honors and worked late evenings to put together programs that not only challenge kids' minds, but also their hearts. With the staff and volunteers who've given their time and talents, thank you for making youth an important part of all you've done. Each church member that has taken time to be involved in youth life, you are part of the youth program here in Minnesota Conference. Thank you. We look forward to how in this coming quinquennium, we can continue to grow youth ministries here in Minnesota Conference.